Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Married to Medicine's Dr. Jackie Walters. How are you, Dr. Jackie?
I'm wonderful today.
So excited to see you on my couch. I'm very much so looking forward to talking to you. You're gorgeous as ever. Your debut book is out now, The Queen V. Congratulations. What a great title. I'm so excited. I've read it. In The Queen V, you reveal the 12 principles behind a happy and healthy vagina. Without giving away too much, because we want people to read the book, what can you tell us about these principles?
The principles are there because the vagina is not making history. It's been done, and women aren't talking about it.
Right.
So I put these principles in the book, and Queen V is because I think that part of your body should be treated like royalty.
Amen to that.
Right, and the book will get women talking about sexual and feminine health. And so I kind of put it like you would in a, learn this point, learn that point. Even your period being a frenemy.
Right.
Nobody likes to talk about a period. But it has a purpose, so it's there for a purpose, but then it can just ruin your day, your night. So I just put 12 principles in there so women would start talking.
Why is there such a stigma behind talking about women's health, especially vaginal health in general? Why is it so taboo?
It starts out as childbirth. You realize moms don't allow little girls to say vagina. They give them all kinds of names, you know?
Oh, God, I've heard the gamut, trust me. I'm sure you've heard the gamut, but the things from my friends used to say, I'm like, it sounds worse than vagina.
And somebody's made us think that the vagina is dirty, that there's something bad about the vagina, when the vagina is actually cleaner than your mouth.
Amen to
and
that.
So I'm not sure where that started, but I think it started way back, where women were just made to feel dirty.
Right.
And
not natural.
Right.
Like it's a wrong thing to get your period, where that's how the world was created.
Yes, even from talking about sex,
Right.
Women don't really talk about their sex lives as much as they should, whether they're having problems or not. We talk in the book about libido. What is libido? And 80% of women at some point in their life will have a decreased libido.
Of course.
And we're made to feel like it's our fault. And that's a myth. A low sex drive is not a woman's fault.
Yeah, no one chooses to have that. Like it's part of our biological hormones and everything going on.
And that is also your most critical sex organ is your brain. And women have so much going on in their brains, their mothers, their wives, they're working. And if you can't think about sex, you're not going to have great sex.
Yeah, you're not going to be. And why have sex if it's not going to be great?
Absolutely. Recreation and procreation.
That's right, Dr. Jackie. So in the book, you talk about what you call doorknob questions. Tell me about this.
Most women will come into the doctor and they're embarrassed to really talk about what they're there. We know the annual exam where you come in, heart, lungs, breast, everything's okay. But there's usually this one thing that you wanted to ask somebody all year long, or something you've done, you want to confess and make sure you're okay. And they'll chat about everything until my hand hits the doorknob. And when my hand hits the doorknob, it's like, okay, I need to talk to you about
Yeah,
that.
they're like, wait.
Yes.
Yes.
And they will ask questions, or they'll say, I had this relationship and I didn't use a condom, and I've been nervous ever since. And it's like, well, okay, let's do an STI check. Let's make sure you're okay. And let's, you talk them through it. Or they'll tell you about something they've been using in their vagina that they know they shouldn't be using. So it's that question you want to ask, and you're either embarrassed to ask, or you just think, I'm bad for doing it. I'm like, no, good people make bad decisions all the time.
I was going to say, I don't feel like doctors would ever shame you, or at least they shouldn't be shaming you.
Exactly.
I can't say it's a guarantee.
Exactly.
But yeah, I do find it interesting. Even some of my friends are like, oh, I wouldn't tell my doctor that. I'm like, if I'm telling anyone anything about everything I'm doing, it's my doctor.
Right. I talked about in the Queen V, there are several people you need on your team. You need to have your doctor first and foremost on your sexual health team. You need to have your spouse or your partner on your sexual health team. The good girlfriends, you got to have them now, the good ones, the holiest of holy ones you need to have on your sexual health team. And a therapist. I think every woman needs somebody they can talk to.
That's on their side just for them.
Absolutely. And so you need that team there, somebody you can open up and be honest with. We want women to start talking.
How do you find a good OBGYN? I mean, as you said, they need to be on your team. What's the type of thing we should be looking for?
Well, women want to find out what's important to them, though. Some women just want female doctors, or some women want male doctors. But if you got to use insurance, you want to start there in your book.
Right.
And make sure that person's covered on your insurance, and start asking around. And I'm never offended if a patient comes in to interview me. You know, they'll come in and ask you questions. I'm like, if it's fair, I can ask questions back. And we're just open and honest, have a dialogue. I'm never angry if you come in to interview your doctor.
Right, because you want them to feel comfortable with you. Otherwise, they're not going to tell you anything.
Absolutely.
And you can only do your job as well as the patient is giving it to you.
I want a relationship with the patient. I need to be able to relate to you so you can relate to me.
I want to ask you about a specific wellness trend you bring up in Queen V, facials for down there. Is this really a thing? Is it necessary? Who should be getting it? Tell me about it.
Well, I call it vajacials.
Yeah.
And somebody referred to it like I'm putting my what on the no.
Yeah,
that's
no,
not what we're doing. But this is, and they have these type spas here in New York. They have them in LA.
Of course they do.
I hope I can bring it to Atlanta, where you're just kind of exfoliating, removing old hair bumps and smoothing things out and tone.
It's a spa day for your lady bits.
There you go.
And how often should we be doing that? I mean, is it that type of thing where if you can afford it every week or?
No, you probably don't need to. It's almost like a waxing, you know.
Okay.
You don't have to do that every week. It depends on how much you want your vajacial.
Yeah.
You know.
I hope you coined that term because that term is so freaking good.
Absolutely.
Tell me why women need this book.
I don't think that women know, one, that they need to talk about their sexual and feminine health. And so if I can get women talking about it, I can also get women to protect that body part like it's royalty. And so you teach people how to love you. And if you understand how vitally important your sexual health is, you're not going to allow people to make you do things or ask you to do things that make you uncomfortable or put you in a bad space.
You're trying to educate them to feel confident in who they are and what they have their God-given right to protect.
Absolutely.
Well, you are an OB/GYN, and for people you have a personal relationships with. How do you handle doing lady business with friends? I know you handle Candy Burris from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Is there a little bit of a complication handling friends or family members as a doctor? Are you able to put on your white coat? You're my patient. You're not my friend here.
I get to stay true to who I am. And if you're truly a friend, you're not going to ask me to do something that is not right for you. And so I'm very honest with them. If they ask, I'm not going to do that. Nope, not going to do it. Or if they call, the good part with them is I can say, now that is not smart. You did what?
I just want you to say that to me, doctor. I just want to call you up and be like, you know that's not the right decision.
And I can say things to them like, what? The one-eyed monster did what?
Yeah.
Who? And so, no, I have a great relationship with my friends who know that I'm a doctor and I'm not going to cross the line.
Well, I actually want to ask you about HGTV star Mina Starsiak, who is expecting her second child after struggling with infertility. She said her first round of IVF failed, and she then tried intrauterine insemination, which is less invasive, I believe. Can you talk to us about that?
And I saw that, and it's so exciting to hear that. She mentioned that she had an egg count, and I believe what she had was a test, an anti-Malarian hormone test, which will kind of give you the ovarian quality, the ovarian reserve, and they told her her egg count was just so low that she only had a 1% chance of getting pregnant. Now, 1% is still 1%.
Amen, but it seems dismal.
Yeah, it really was. But you know what? The body heals itself. She's 32 years old, and I'm sure if she changed her diet, she's not a smoker, the ovary just said, okay. And there she is. And I've seen it happen. I had a patient once with a horrible AMH. The number was so low, it was 1% chance, and her fallopian tubes were blocked. And she showed up pregnant.
It can happen.
Yeah, medicine's not an absolute science.
Right, and you're still learning as you go. I mean, what you could know in 30 years could be way different than what you know now.
We're practicing medicine.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, that's the best way to put it.
Yes.
I also want to ask you about the mortality rate of Black women during childbirth, which is an important topic, and a main cause being doctors not believing them, especially when talking about pain. Can you kind of expound on that and how Black women should handle themselves if they fear that they're in a situation where their medical professional is just not listening to them? And why is it Black women specifically?
I'm not sure I'm totally convinced it's not that doctors don't believe us. I think there are some other comorbidities, hypertension, diabetes, and obesity that we see a little bit more in the African American patient that definitely impacts the mortality rate. But I think we have to be open and honest with our doctors, and the doorknob question, don't hint around. If there's truly a pain, you have to say, I'm in pain, and insist on good care. And if you're not getting good care with one doctor, you're open and you can go to another doctor.
Right, it's an interview process, as you mentioned.
Absolutely, you can get a second opinion, but stay persistent. And if something's really going on, I tell my patients, if we talk to you at night and we tell you something, it's really based on what you're telling me, and you may not be communicating to me what's going on so that I understand it. Go to the hospital.
Yeah, just take care of yourself
Yes.
and really think about it. Before I let you go, just a quick question. Freezing your eggs, good idea, bad idea? If you can afford it, do it?
Great idea. Old days, the egg quality wasn't so great with freezing. Now, perfect. I tell every lady who's 35, nowhere close to having a baby, consider egg freezing.
And what's too late to freeze your eggs?
After 40, some of the fertility clinics kind of go,
So in your 30s, you're okay?
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I love how medicine
Egg
works.
freeze, girl.
Egg freeze. I love that. Well, Dr. Jackie, thank you so much for being here today. Your book is incredible. Make sure you grab a copy of Queen V, available everywhere books are sold.